Hey guys, it's Doug Giles again with Creative Restorations, aka Billiards of New Orleans, and we got us a special little pool table we're working on today. How special? Well, let's take a look. I'll bring you in close. Let's see, can you figure out what this is that I'm about to point to? Can you tell what this is? This is a pool table rail, and it's made out of concrete. Yes, this is an outdoor pool table. Outdoor pool table. Now this table actually has several things wrong with it. Number one, the customer initially called me up. He wanted to get it recovered, and we got out there and he says, could you possibly re-level it too? Well, the whole table needs to be completely disassembled. This is one of the reasons why companies that sell outdoor furniture should not let their outdoor furniture delivery guys install pool tables, because they really don't know what they're doing. All right. Rule number one, when upholstering an outdoor pool table, and this is a big one, use, can you see that? Let's see, focus in on that. These are just standard staples. You must use stainless steel staples. I actually keep stainless steel staples on hand strictly for doing outdoor pool tables. This particular rail, although the staples are rusting up on them, I can tell you these rails weigh a good 30 pounds a piece, so they're pretty heavy. Although these staples are rusted up pretty good, they're not, in this one rail, they're not giving me too much of a fight coming out. Although the technician who did these put a bit too many staples in, as usual. New staple gun, inexperienced guy. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Look, you're not trying to hold together the space shuttle or the Titanic or, you know, a suspension bridge here. All you're trying to do is put in cloth. All you're trying to do is hold cloth still. So don't go overboard with staples. And then he put his folds in the wrong direction. Can't get to those staples yet. Well, yep, there they go, breaking off. All right, so let's pluck all these staples out of here. Now this is going to be a series that I'm doing in regards to this table. Since it needs so much work, I figured I'd let you guys tag along with me and watch exactly what I'm doing with this table. It does need a lot of love. It needs a lot of love, baby. And that's what I'm prepared to give it. Now it's going to take a little while. Look at there. We're going to get... most of these are coming out. And I'll show you what's going on the underside of this in just a moment. I'm sorry, this is the underside. I'll show you what's going on the top side in just a moment. But I gotta get all these 5 gajillion staples out of here first. There's our broken off one. Let's see if we can get that, pull that leg out. There we go. Another one doing the same thing, get that leg out. And as bad as it is to get cut by a staple, even worse to get cut by a rusty staple. So I am extra cautious when removing staples in an outdoor pool table. They're not my favorite tables to work on to begin with. There's those other staples that are buried in there. And you know, in this video that we're doing right now, I'm going to go over some of the problems that most outdoor pool tables have, and how I think the manufacturers could remedy those issues. All right, we got all that off. Anything else over here? Nope, they're all off. Okay. Let's tilt this up. Now, as you can see from the top side of the rail, the rubber on outdoor pool tables routinely get lots of mold and mildew. So that's one issue. Be prepared when you own an outdoor pool table to replace rubber a lot more often than you otherwise would. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our rail facing off, jam a screwdriver in the little slot right here, pull up our rubber, get this other rail facing off. Now this is what happens when rubber starts getting dry rotted. And I know when you feel this rubber, it feels, well, you can't feel it, but I can. It actually feels kind of springy, right? Well, watch what happens. Oh, this one's not going to do it. There it goes. It just broke right in half. Normally that rubber would bend. It's just not gonna. It's not gonna snap in half like that. So, although that particular rubber may have had another year or two of life left in it, it didn't have much more than that. All right, so this is an issue. This is our feather strip. This holds the cloth in a channel right here on the top of the table, okay? This feather strip goes in and it holds the cloth down with a friction fit. One of the problems with using wooden feather strips on outdoor tables is that they rot. It's wood, it rots. So unless you have very specific wood, such as some species of oak, Osage orange, you know, some very rot resistant and insect resistant woods, you know, wood is just not a very good choice. A better choice for this would have been plastic or rubber, but even those tend to dry rot in outdoor pool table situations. Let's go back to the top, or I'm sorry, the underneath. Now, this particular rail don't have much of a problem with this one. It looks as though they used some kind of pressure treated lumber for underneath here. But the way that they did the joinery, the construction on this bottom, can you see it? This bottom piece right here is one solid piece, and it appears to be pine. And this piece, our actual cap that our rubber goes on, is a separate piece right here. Here's here's our line right here that separates those two pieces of wood. So what happens when this wood starts to separate, when the glue starts to fail in here, this whole piece is going to start wanting to come off. Where the manufacturer screwed up again is that, as you can see right in here, all this green that you see back here is all epoxy. So the whole rail, this whole rail cap, is epoxied to the top. Our actual wooden piece is epoxied to all this concrete. So what happens is, when this wood starts to rot away, or when our glue seams start to separate, this whole piece needs to be pulled back apart. You need to pull this whole piece off of the concrete, and with it epoxied, you take a pretty big risk of damaging the concrete. Now, this particular rail along the top right here, I don't see any cracks going in here this way, but some of the other rails for this table actually do have cracks going across it. And that's just from expansion and contraction. You know, it gets water down into the concrete, and when it heats up, the water swells, the concrete swells, and it'll cause little hairline cracks in here. It's not the end of the world, but hey, you know, it makes it that much more problematic when you go to take this wood back off of here if ever you have to swap this out. So how would I have fixed this? If I were designing a pool table, an outdoor pool table, I think the concrete is fine, okay? Where I have issue is all of the parts that they want to use wood. Now, bear with me for just a moment. Okay, this is a product called UHMW. It's a type of plastic, okay? But it's a rather soft plastic. As you can see from the top of it, we actually use this as a cutting board for our clicker press for cutting out leather goods. But this UHMW is fairly soft. Staples will go in this just fine. It can be milled out just as easily as wood can. And had it been me that was designing this rail, and I would have made all of these parts, all these wooden parts, I would have made it out of this material. You can get this in, you know, 4-inch thicknesses, 3-inch thicknesses, 2-inch thicknesses, all the way down to 1/8 inch. So, you know, I think I would have made all of this in UHMW. Now, this won't rot. It won't rot. It won't dry rot either. So how do you attach it to the concrete? Well, that's pretty easy too. When they're pouring the concrete form, or when they're pouring the concrete in the form, what they could have done, did you see these little barrel nuts right here? Well, they could have used basically the same thing, but a threaded rod with the threads on the inside of the rod, basically a hollow tube with threads on the inside. They could have embedded that into the concrete. Or even one step further, they could have made a plate that goes this entire length that has those threaded rods welded onto the plate, and then set that whole plate into the concrete when you're getting ready to pour. That way you've got studs that stick up. I said before, this stuff can be machined. It can be done out just like wood can be. So you could drill holes, you could do countersunk, and this could have just slipped right down over those threaded rods and then put nuts in. In which case, if you ever needed to change this piece out, you just pull out the bolts all the way across, lift it out, put the new one in, tighten them back up, and you're done. With this, I've already got one that I disassembled. You might be able to see it against that back wall right there. Okay? That one's one that I already took apart. and wood is still stuck to the concrete, and some of the concrete has pulled away and stuck to the wood. The reason why that one got pulled apart is because, again, it started delaminating at the seams on the wood, so that has to be fixed. So stick around with me through the video series on this particular table. I'll show you everything that I'm doing with it, right down to you know, cleaning off that one right here that's behind the sewing machine. Stick with me. We'll get that re-epoxied onto there. We'll put new rubber on. We'll get new fabric. And by the way, the fabric, this is not ordinary pool table fabric. This is a product called Sunbrella, okay? And I'll leave a, if you have an outdoor pool table and you're looking to get it recovered, or you're thinking you're gonna recover it yourself, which, you know, I don't advise doing, but if you decide you're gonna do yourself, I'll leave the link down below to where you can get the Sunbrella on Amazon. I do make a little small commission off of it. It's not much at all. You're not gonna pay anything more for buying your fabric through that link as opposed to going directly through Amazon, but it does help me out a little bit. So anyway, stick with me through this video series. Hit the like button if you like these videos. If you'd like to see more, leave me a comment down below. Ask me some questions about either this pool table or any other pool table you might know of or you have questions about. Hit the subscribe button or hit the bell notification. As I said, this is going to be an ongoing series. This might be, it might end up being 4, 5, 6 videos. I'll try to do shorter videos for these, but it might end up being several videos, and you might want to get notified every time I upload a new video for this. So anyway, see you on the next video, and like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification. Take care.